serving a piece. Working, we serving the streets. About to go eight, going beast. Bang, bang, leave you sleep. Tick, tick, boom. Hard body, and not scaring nobody. You make me resort to wildin'. You must be blind by the diamonds. I didn't want it to be this way, but y'all won't need to try this. So it's no way around it. You the loudest one, it's going quiet. We be disturbing the peace. Working, we serving the streets. About to go eight, going beast. Bang, bang, leave you sleep. Woo! It's go, 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 go time.
Welcome, everybody, to Dueling Aces for August 26, 2025. And most of those folks that you see in the montage in the beginning will actually be in attendance next week as we knock through the Dueling Aces Fantasy Football Draft. You want to talk about entertainment? We've got big entertainment next week, baby.
Hold on. Does that mean what I think it means?
Yes, sir, it does.
So can I just
with a special start time of 6:30, by the way.
So you're telling me that I can just sit here and torture him while he drafts?
Oh, as you both will probably could even be drafting side by side.
Wait, I'm in that?
You are on the show, sir, but of course.
Well, you could have gave me a heads up about it.
Well, ta-da! You're in.
We're gonna have to talk about some things after the show now, George. Thanks. I got a draft on Sunday, damn it.
I have two, and they're both at 7:00.
Yeah, you're fine. You got two monitors, a phone, you're fine.
One is Zolt's League, and the other one is the Secret Service 12-man that I'm consulting. Yeah, that's going to be tons of fun to pull that off. Tons of fun. Oh, did I mention, by the way, that this will be the third draft that I'll have, and I have the third overall pick in the third draft for the third time this year. That's right. Somehow I finished for the third spot in the Ohio League. I finished the third spot in the MIACES League, and I got the third spot in Zolt's League.
Now, hold on a second. Since we're doing since we have a fantasy draft next week, I'm assuming there's somebody that will not be here.
Yes, he will not be in attendance.
He may be making his 609 appearance on Monday, though.
Oh, boy.
The invitation has been out. He decided to call me out in my comments saying that I was talking about college football and not having them on again. So hopefully he's celebrating a Longhorns win on Monday. So he is more welcome to join the show.
It's really?
Oh, no, okay.
I'm ripping my, If the Longhorns should somehow lose this game, he
may go into hiding.
He will not be a happy camper. He'll be he will be, but he is very cordial about it. He is not bashful of saying, and he'll admit if somebody is a better team, and he'll say that to you. So he's not one of those. You don't live your life by football, whether it win or lose. He just doesn't do that. So it totally is. He's not one of those people. It's like, oh, my whole weekend's ruined. Nah, fantasy football does that enough for us.
That's great.
Fantasy football does it enough for us.
Fantasy football. The Phillies have been ruining weekends for me for the past 9 years.
Cleveland sports has been doing it since I've been born. Don't feel bad.
David Hurt breaking your heart.
2016, when the hockey team actually won, LeBron felt called out, and all of a sudden the Cavs came back and pulled a Houdini on Golden State. So I really shouldn't complain about that one.
Well, then the 2016 World Series happened.
Yeah, well, that's my fault too, because I turned the TV on. I thought the game would have been over already, and we had a rain delay, and I was like, oops. And
Mother
I turned
Nature
it
got
on.
together and screwed
I
you
turned
over.
it on, and I'm like, is this highlights? Nope, it was live, and boom, we lost. I was like, damn. I was like, that sucked. I knew I should have just waited for the next morning. We would have been fine.
So let me ask you this question. Were sports less heartbreaking back in the 40s when there wasn't so much like social media and all?
I don't even hear the crickets. Damn. That was so bad. The crickets didn't even want to acknowledge you. Ouch. Ouch.
Nah.
You're losing your touch, my friend.
Yeah, I'm like Kenny Pickett trying to throw a spiral.
Yeah. So since you went there, just as I pretty much figured, Kenny Pickett was odd man out, and yep, sure enough, he's joining DeVito and Ritter. I mean, how many of these
he got traded?
What's that?
Pickett was traded. He wasn't cut. He got traded.
Oh, no, but he just joins the list of, just move it along, Sam.
Yeah, pretty.
No pun intended.
Well, here's the thing. Aiden O'Connell is going to be out for the next 2 months at least. So the Raiders needed a backup quarterback. So
I thought they were still looking. No, they had found their starter, Geno Smith.
Yes, but Aiden O'Connell was going to be his backup, but he got hurt and is going to be out for 6 to 8 weeks. So that's why they went and made the trade for Pickett, because they needed a backup. Listen,
Boy,
I got
Schefter,
Garofalo, Rappaport, Pelissero. Them tweet notifications are on 24/7. I know any training camp question you want answered, I could probably answer it for you.
Fair enough.
And since a lot of you guys are in Ohio, no Browns fans, DTR has not been signed back to the practice squad in Cleveland yet. It's probably going to happen soon, but it hasn't happened yet.
No, that's what we got Sanders for.
Can we agree on that? What a terrible trade that is for Philly and Cleveland. Trade swap quarterbacks, neither are even on the team.
Swap quarterbacks, and at least Cleveland got 5th round. I mean, Philly just flat out released him, which, I mean, I said that's probably what was going to happen is both teams would have released the guys.
Oh, yeah.
I think if the Raiders didn't need anybody, I knew that it was like if the Raiders didn't need anybody, Pickett's released. He was expendable.
So essentially the Browns got back the 5th round pick they gave up for Kenny Pickett for Kenny Pickett.
That works. It totally works, right?
Well, how they say, how can't you be romantic about baseball? How can you not be romantic about NFL trades and training camp?
Oh, right now it's all about cutting down to those rosters, 53-man roster, and who you want, and then who else is available.
Eagles got down to their 53 by the deadline. Not sure if this will be the final roster, because Howie Roseman did say he is still looking to improve. He's always looking to make moves for the final roster. So, but we don't have many surprises on our 53. It kind of went as expected.
I was surprised that Pittsburgh let Robert Woods go.
Yeah, since they don't really have a traditional wide receiver too, unless they're still. I mean, Jacoby Myers he requested a trade. Would Pittsburgh make a call, see what the asking price is?
It's a possibility.
Because I really don't wonder. I hope the Raiders could figure out a way to keep him, at least to convince him. Maybe give a pay raise. Do what the Bengals did. Give him a pay raise for this year. Work on the long-term deal later. Because, you put Myers. They just signed back Amari Cooper. Now, what Amari Cooper is at this point of his career, we don't know. But he is still respectable on the outside where you can't just leave him. You're going to pair that with Brock Bowers, who's already probably one of the best 5 tight ends in football after one freaking year. Yep. You have Ashton Genty, and you actually have a quarterback that knows how to throw a football more than just a 5-yard check down pad.
And you have a head coach who knows what the hell he's doing.
Yeah. And your offensive coordinator is coming off a national title in college. Like, I know it's college, but still,
yeah.
Like I said, I will never have much to complain about Chip Kelly, the play caller. My issue is with Chip Kelly, the coach and front office guy. And his coaching took a hit because his offense looked good with LaShawn McCoy. LaShawn McCoy won the rushing title Chip's first year here. The offense looked good with LaShawn McCoy, Deshaun Jackson, Jeremy Maclin, a young Zach Ertz, a good offensive line. Then when you start to subtract those players, that's when the play calling and the personnel really started to look like crap. But when you go from Deshaun Jackson and Jeremy Maclin to Jordan Matthews, Miles Austin for a year, and Riley Cooper, what do you expect's going to happen?
Right.
So I think that's a solid group that Chip Kelly has to coach. Like I said, he was fine until he decided he was fine until the Eagles gave him personnel control like they did with Andy, and that is why the Eagles have never given a head coach personnel control since.
Well, the other thing is, I said, even on Saturday with Unscripted, I said there's one other team I'm concerned about, and that was Pittsburgh, because Pittsburgh spent money. They're literally saying, hey, here's our chips. We're going all in, baby. And the other complimentary receiver is the piece that they're missing. They pick somebody up within the next 10 days, and it's that complimentary piece. If it is Myers, holy crap, okay? And yeah, warning, they're not playing. Well, they are, but they're playing, and they're playing with nothing to lose and everything to gain. And it ought to scare the hell out of everybody. And I even said, if they do that, they win not just the AFC North, but once they get on that railroad track in the playoffs, and if they're hitting a 7-8 game win streak, everybody's done. I don't care who's on the AFC side. Look out. You're screwed. Because if one thing that Tomlin's got is once he has a strong momentum like that, you're toast. And it's not going to be easy. I mean, and with the Raiders, that ought to scare. You bring up Andy. Andy ought to be afraid, because Petey's now on the other side of the division, and it's like, hello, knock knock.
Yeah, and I mean the other thing, like you said,
you now have in that division, you have Andy, you have Sean, and you've got Pete. Oh, and then some guy named Harbaugh. Good God Almighty, that AFC West is nuts. That AFC West is going to be nuts.
The bloodbath.
Yeah, it'll be the wild, wild West, big time.
And what hurts the most still about that is I actually think the Chargers have a legitimate shot at that division. It's going to be very interesting to see, can they overcome the injury of Rashawn Slater, because I know Joe Alt's going to move over to the left side, but now that whole right side of that offensive line is a question mark. You got a backup right tackle now, and as good as Mekhi Becton was last year in Philly, he's not playing next to Cam Jurgens and Lane Johnson anymore.
Right.
So I don't want to take away from what Mekhi did. He deserved the money he got. He deserved that career resurgence. He deserved all of it. The Jets almost ruined him. I am not trying to take that away from him. But the question now is going to be, because at least going into the season, he would have been playing next to Joe Alt. Well, Alt now has to go protect the left side because of Slater's injury. So now it's going to be a question. But that whole division, in my opinion, has gotten better. I think the Chargers are still good, even with the offensive line banged up. The Raiders have improved a lot. Honestly, the team that should scare them the most is Denver. They have one of the most well-rounded rosters in the freaking league. They're going to have a top 3 defense, which is young and explosive, and it just got better through free agency and the draft.
Yep.
Bo Nix in the second half of the season played like a top 10 quarterback in football.
Yeah,
it's going to be interesting.
I think Sean Payton's got a whole Drew Brees situation 2.0 on his hands. I literally do.
And just think, I'm pretty sure you were on that draft show. We all were. There are a lot of people laughing when they took Bo Nix. There are a lot of people laughing at them. But once again, it doesn't matter about the physical attraction. It is if a coach believes he can find a quarterback that fits their system and can flourish in their system, they're going to draft him, and they will see how it works. Patrick Mahomes went to Kansas City. I'm not trying to say he's not the greatest of all time. I'm not trying to say he's not one of the top quarterbacks we've ever seen. But I've never seen him play outside of Andy Reid's system.
Right.
I saw Tom Brady play in Belichick's system, but then I went and saw him win Bruce Arians the Super Bowl too. So like there are certain quarterbacks we have not seen in other systems. And then there are some we have. I'm not trying to take anything away from Mahomes. I think Mahomes has had one of the best starts to a career you could ask for. A lot of people would ask that, but Andy Reid's got a pretty damn good track record of quarterbacks. I mean, Michael Vick in Atlanta, he was electric, but he was also a turnover-prone machine. Andy got his hands on him, turnover stopped. Well, for at least a year they did. But then the problem was
yeah, go ahead.
But the problem after that, Andy was already on the outs in Philly. The last 2 years Vic was there. Offensive line was being shuffled all over the place. Guys were getting hurt. Even Vic was getting hurt. I mean, he had one weird injury in preseason. Literally followed through on a pass and freaking cracked his hand on the guy on his offensive lineman's helmet.
Yeah. Peyton Manning even turned around and flipped systems and won Super Bowls.
Yeah.
So.
Peyton Manning actually flipped systems and had the best year of his career after he left the Colts.
Yeah. All right. Well, got to discuss a little bit of the MIACES fantasy draft, as we covered a little bit of the Ohio debacle. The Ohio one, we actually knocked that thing out on a StreamYard session. You guys pretty much saw it. We pretty much knocked it out in about an hour, roughly, with no issues. The MIACES one, we started at 2:00. We finished at 5:51. Yeah.
What happened?
We got guys who like sit there and look through the magazine and sometimes study it like they're trying to hurry up and study for a test 15 minutes before they have to. Back in high school.
Good grief.
And they're just kind of going back and forth and back and forth. And I even looked at Zolt a couple of times and went, my God, what is taking so long? I mean, hey, I know we've been doing this a while, but for flying out loud, is it time for Cam Akers to retire? No, not really. Cam's going to probably he could probably get moved someplace pretty easily, Anthony.
No, he'll hit somebody's practice squad.
Yeah.
Maybe the 49ers.
No, we got plenty now. After getting Brian Robinson, I mean, now we've got 5. It's like, good grief. We got 5 guys. I think we got plenty of depth there. I think we're good.
You need all the depth you can get.
I think we're good. We're just fine. We are just fine.
Yeah, they said that last year leading up to the first week.
Well, at least my squad's in better shape than Zolt's. Zolt already lost a kicker. He drafted the Miami Dolphins kicker, who now is injured. And he said that's what he gets for drafting Christian McCaffrey.
Oh, I'm in. You act like I'm not in the chat. I see that.
No, but I'm explaining it for the people at home.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
I'm just letting the people at home, letting the peeps at home know that's what's going on. Ending up with the 3rd pick again. I was trying to even do a mock draft Saturday and just never still got around to it. And I said, man, I've got a whole week. Should have no problem getting prepared. Nope. Still never got an opportunity to turn around and look at anything or do mock draft or whatever. Still flying by the seat of my pants. And believe it or not, first 2 picks, Bijan, Barkley, and who does that leave falling in my lap? Jamar Chase. I'm sitting there going, well, who else could I really have looked at running back wise? And it's like, do I want the Rook? No. Am I going with Jahmyr Gibbs? Listen, half of the Lions offensive staff went over to Chicago. Half of the defensive staff went over to the Jets. Not real comfortable with the Lions.
Not to mention that offensive line is moving all over the place because they lost 2 guys in the offseason.
And I was drafting Sunday, 12-man team, and only 4 people showed up. Ooh. So after the first round, oh wow. Yeah, see, Anthony, we don't do that. We are live and in person. If it's one thing that I refuse to do is auto draft anything. And I even tell the commissioners, listen, if there's an auto drafter in your draft as we're going through this, I'm like, I'm out. I will bail out. I have no problem bailing. I'm like, dude, I will bail out so fast. I'm like, everybody needs to be there.
Yeah, I hated that. I only had one person do that once, and that was because I set the draft day. This is the year that we did the 609 league, and one person texted me and said, I'm at work. I'm going to try to make my picks, but I'm like, there may be 1 or 2 auto drafts in there. I'm like, okay, as long as you attempt to, I'm not going to get mad at you. As long as it's not like, oh, I didn't feel like doing it, I just let it auto draft.
Yeah. Because the computers suck.
That's good for us. We have better players.
Well, in the Michigan League, of course, what happens after Chase? Everybody and their brother goes and grabs a damn running back. So by the time it gets back around to me, the next best available at the top is Breece Hall. That's how many running backs went in the first round. Not many wide receivers went. It was a lot of running backs. Don't be in a draft where there's no how to draft. Oh my god. Oh yeah. That's why with the drafts that I am a part of, there is no we are live and in person, or in Zolt's case, everybody is always there. Everybody's always there for them. My third pick, Scary Terry, and ironically, Daniels was there on the rebound. So round 4, I picked up Daniels to get the combo. Figured
Not
why
bad.
not? Because the guy in front of me actually took CeeDee Lamb and then took Dak Prescott. He took Dak Prescott in the 4th round.
Oh God.
Yeah. By the way, CeeDee Lamb, I'm telling you, it's like, okay, I know what Chase is capable of, but Lamb is the more productive dude. And I'm just sitting here going, okay. The next couple of running backs, I went for Travion Henderson, DeAndre Swift, and then snagged Double E from Tampa Bay and Baker Mayfield after that.
Okay.
It's the first time I've ever had Baker Mayfield on one of my fantasy squads.
Interesting.
I was like, all right, well, because everybody was actually picking up backup quarterbacks, and I'm sitting there looking at the list, and I'm like, well, I just snagged Double E. I'm like, okay, why not? So I went, yeah, I'll take Baker. I mean, Baker's put up solid numbers, and I've seen everybody else who's had him whooping my butt with him. I figured, all right, why not?
Yeah, honestly,
I mean, he puts up good numbers,
he
and
does.
that's what you want in fantasy. Is those solid numbers. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm totally looking forward to that little ordeal. So that's the tons of fun on the first half, and then this is the most brutal part about the whole draft. We realize that there are no rookies printed. There were no rookies printed at all, Sam.
Oh, really?
We had to start writing in the rookies. And I'm sitting there like, okay, that's really odd. And then we had a discrepancy about round 9 of when the bye weeks were. Because somebody's bye week, as we went with the defense, we're looking and they're like, that's not the right bye week. The jackwagon who produced the kit went off of last year's rosters and did not have, and though it was advertised, a 2025 draft kit. He did not produce. Yeah, Doug. Yes, Doug. He sent us last year's stickers. Yes, the jackwagon turnaround, and I bashed the hell out of this guy on Amazon on the sales thing, and I still have to I have to call Amazon and explain to them what exactly happened, because it's like, you guys need to open up one of the kits and you can clearly see the product is no good. And it is just bad. It's really, really bad.
Speaking of which, the Dolphins have placed kicker Jason Sanders on injured reserve, in case anybody was curious.
Yeah, that was Zolt's kicker.
All right. Well, Zolt, I'm sorry, buddy. It's not like they're hard to find.
So we kind of just went with it from there. Round 9, I got Ricky Pearsall Then I took the Philadelphia Eagles defense in 10. Scatterboo in 11. Noah Font.
Hold on. You only took the Eagles defense because of one player.
No, round 9, defenses were about to go, but I turn around and I was like, well, if I'm going to hurry up and get it, the Eagles defense is actually ranked number 1 in all fantasy drafts.
You just want Cooper DeJean to win you some fantasy matchup.
Well, no, but I'm going to take the number 1 defense overall. I mean,
well, yeah, of course.
I wasn't going to take the Ravens or get stuck with the Broncos again.
You know what the problem with the Ravens defense is? And I feel like this is every year in fantasy football. They will give you the standard points they're awarded. They don't create separation. They don't force enough turnovers to be a good fantasy defense.
And like I said, with my defenses earning the kick return yards and the punt return yards, that's what you're also looking at too. So Scatterboo in 11, Font in 12, JCM in 13, Tyler Lockett in 14, DeAndre Hopkins. When's the last time you could say you got DeAndre Hopkins in the 15th round? How the mighty have fallen.
Well, he's in Baltimore now, so the mighty have fallen for sure.
And then just because I'm a glutton for punishment, I even showed Zolt. I took Moody as my kicker.
Of course,
I said I'm a glutton for punishment. Why not? The guy cost me so many matches last year. I'm like, all right, let's see what you can screw up for me this year. At least I know. Hopefully he won't get hurt. You put out any 49ers injury reports this year, gonna have to interrupt your internet feed.
George, just don't pop into my show every Monday for a minute and maybe you'll miss them. I can't help that they tweet them out on my show. That's not my problem. I give the people what they need.
Where is nope, that wasn't him. Where is his? No, that's so it was yes. No, that's not. I'm looking for results. Hang on. Oop, wrong one. Here. Oh, come on, go back. I'll give you results. Yeah, his is Better Call Hall. All right. So his results by team. So Zolt took
Right.
Christian McCaffrey. And he already turned around when he drafted him. He goes, you better let Adam know now. Which is why that got populated in our chat.
Oh, boy.
He took him number 1 overall for his squad at the 8th pick. Nico Collins, Kyron Williams, Brian Thomas Jr., George Kittle. I'm like, wow, somebody's a little 49er heavy there, ain't he?
Just a little bit, it seems.
Just a little bit right off the rip. Marvin Harrison Jr., Chuba Hubbard, DJ Moore, Kyler Murray as his QB. Caleb, Stephon Diggs, Drake May, Colston Loveland, the Chiefs defense, Pittman, and of course the IR kicker. In fact, I haven't even seen who else he's picking up yet. So that the 16th pick is probably been sliced or will be sliced, because all these guys are inputted. So I am surprised that he has not gone out yet to research a kicker to replace him.
He's got that's a solid team. There's a lot of upside picks.
Yeah. I like this one. Drake May at 12. That's not a bad pickup.
No.
It's not a bad pickup. And he's got the combo right here. So, it's not bad. He's got the combo here with Marvin Harrison and Kyler. He just said he knows that the Call of Duty this year is going to suck. So he ought to be all right.
And I like the Colston Loveland pick.
Yeah, that one. I was looking at it too with font, and I was like, I don't know. And I've even added and changed up my tight end picks too already.
Well, I think what is so liked about it is the fact that you think of Ben Johnson and what he did with Sam Laporta. That's a lot of upside there.
Well, the other side of that fence too is Cole Kmet as well. So there's gonna be no downside to having either Chicago tight end.
Not at all.
Our insanity, Saquon Barkley, even though it says pick 7 here, there was a trade with picks, believe it or not. Suds had the second pick.
Okay.
Kevin is drafting at 7. Suds is picking at 2. So they traded. Kevin took the second pick overall, and Suds got his 7th in the first round and his 7th in the 5th round. For Chris's 1st and 16th. Yeah, 16th. Which, by the way, that's why you see this one right here at 5, because you have to turn around and still make a pick, and Kevin had to pick his 16th. His last pick was Keon Coleman, and Keon is not the 5th one.
Not a bad squad.
Andrew, you're hilarious. We already discussed about that draft pick. Well, here's the rest of his crew.
Not bad. Not bad. Keenan Allen.
Do you see picks 12 and 16, though?
He took 2 kickers?
Yes. Why? I don't know.
I think I've seen it all, actually.
That's Kevin for you. This is the guy who our first couple of years, or a couple of years back, his first 2 picks were 2 quarterbacks, including one of them being it was like Matthew Stafford and somebody else. He actually picked the Detroit QB when Stafford was still in Detroit, and then picked up somebody else as well. And we're sitting there going, okay, that's a little odd, but it is what it is. Since Andrew's here, let's show you Andrew's. Andrew got the last pick. So he's in slot 10. So he gets the double ups.
Excuse me.
So as you can see, Gente and Hill Bowers, Neighbors, Shaheed, Connor, Debo, Pollard, and swings CJ Stroud in round 9.
It's not bad.
No, that's huge. I think the sophomore year kind of, gave everybody like, okay. But as you can see, he picked both of his quarterbacks back to back. He took
And he's got
JJ
Stafford.
and I don't know. He's got 3 QBs. It's a head scratcher, but hey, somebody's got a QB that goes down. It is what it is.
And not only that, here's the thing, right? I liked his quarterbacks before Stafford, but here's the thing. The Texans' offensive line is still atrocious. So we don't know what CJ Stroud's going to do. J.J. McCarthy has yet to play a snap of NFL football once again. So we don't know how that's going to work. So Stafford is like one of those perfect quarterbacks that are a security blanket. They're not going to give you like the crazy amount of points, but they're going to give you enough to get by in a week.
Yeah, Anthony. Yeah. Andrew even was surprised because Bowers is definitely gone almost literally in normal surroundings. He's gone at almost the end of round or beginning of round 2. Ooh, excuse me, to the middle of round 2. So, yeah, tons of fun.
That's crazy.
And one more, I will. This is our guy who had the first pick overall and took Bijan.
And he got Jonathan Taylor? Holy crap.
Yep. He's heavy on his running back picks early. Got Bo Nix out of the ordeal. And also decided to take a chance on Cam Ward.
Interesting.
No, well, it was super interesting. Yeah. I have done, like I said, I've done several drafts. I've also done now after the fact. I've also done a lot of mocks, and Bowers has been going pretty much about the second round as an average. There is still much more to take before him.
Prepping me for my draft on Sunday.
Look who Mr. Irrelevant was, Sam. That's sad.
That is
sad.
That's brutal.
Mm-hmm. Now, I know we officially have, and we've already chatted a little bit about the Ohio State, Texas, and college football kicking off this weekend. Everybody's kind of like, there's no NFL. It's like, no.
That's a week away, guys.
That's going to be about a week away, and everybody's kind of like surprised that there's like a week in between.
I'm just warning everybody. I've texted my friends, close personal family. I've texted everybody. I'm just warning everybody. Come 12 o'clock Saturday, this will not be answered. It will be on the table next to me, and I will get back to you in 10 to 12 hours. But I'm not answering this on Saturday.
Sam, I've known you for a little while now.
It's been a couple years now. Yep.
That phone will be sitting right next to you.
Oh, it will be. It just won't be answered.
Oh, during commercial breaks, something tells me you'll pop your head out like a gopher, like the whack-a-mole. You'll pop your head out. Every other commercial break, you'll be popping your head out.
Who's holding the mallet?
Bruiser.
Oh, I can feel the concussion already.
Because he will be running up the jam session like nobody's business. Yeah, I may or may not be able to see the Ohio State Texas game, but I will be definitely able to hear it from the party hall that I will be in attendance at, as it is less than 7 miles from the shoe. And Kelly and I will be attending my buddy's daughter's first birthday party they will be in town for. And even my buddy turned around and said, yep, we did not take a look and see what was going on that weekend. And I said, I'm going to have to get up at 8 o'clock in the morning to fight through the traffic just to get there by 11:30 to 12. And it's usually a 2-hour drive. Because, damn, yeah, you rent a hall 7 miles north of the shoe on one of the biggest kickoff games of the year. Oh, and College game day in attendance. Oh, man.
Which did you see? Did you see they banned Dave Portnoy to go inside the shoe?
Yes. Yep, I saw that article this morning. I was like, okay.
I'm already thinking about Michigan. You haven't played Texas yet.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, just think of it. Talk about for a crazy first week back for me. We get Ohio State versus Texas at 12. Then at 3:30, I get to watch my Penn State Nittany Lions, which, yes, we play Nevada. I don't care. I don't make the schedule.
Right. They're still playing.
Then we get to see the debut of Bryce Underwood at Michigan. Combining that with Clemson, with Kay Klubnik going against Garrett Nussmeier and LSU. Then we get another top 10 matchup on Sunday, Miami versus Notre Dame. You could not ask for a better first weekend.
No, I think they did it right.
Yeah.
I think they did it right. Like I said, it's just going to be brutal. I believe the party, by the way, on Saturday, it goes through the game time. So I will have to deal with oncoming and outgoing traffic. If we stay the full spread of time, that's going to be a big if. We'll see how Kelly's doing. It's like, I think we'll end up being able to stay the whole time. But, yeah, it's going to be a long weekend. Last weekend was pretty cool, though, too. I posted earlier on my page, I got to run into a friend of mine who was a big influence on me when I first moved to Michigan, working at the Y and volunteering, teaching a handy gym class, and getting Bryce to meet this guy and kind of go over and explain to Bryce on how everything kind of evolved into how I got involved into not just volunteering, but eventually working at the Y and going through everything as far as learning about program building and everything that I got to learn, eventually becoming a director, getting my certification for that and doing it a couple of times. That's pretty much that. Just meeting him and working with him just totally went and led me to who I am today. And I kind of covered that with him on our car ride up, is discussing life-changing moments. I says, and it may not just be one particular day or hour, but it could be something that happens over a period of time, like over a year or a year and a half or 2 years. And it's still life altering and life changing. I mean, I had no interest in basketball whatsoever when I was 16. And here I am, the director at the time asked me, she's like, yeah, you want more hours? Here, you ever officiate basketball? You're a referee? I was like, nope. She's like, well, here's a rule book, here's a whistle, let's go. I was like, okay, sure.
Well, no, I'm doing, but sure, why not?
I loved it. I totally loved it. I said, you know what? This is pretty cool. And it's like, yeah, I may have been athletic, but maybe not athletic enough to turn around and compete in the high school sports or whatever. But guess what? I was able to turn around and officiate. Oh, Sam, this was before marriage, buddy. I only weighed about 135 pounds, man. Trust me.
See, I made that face because I'm pissed because I won't go there, but somebody else would. And I wish he was here right now.
No, but I loved every minute of it. And I said, would I do it again? Hell yeah. If I could go right now and tell my 15-year-old self before that happened, going, dude, you are going to do all this stuff. And my 15-year-old self would go, yeah, dream on, dude, dream on. Because I had zero interest in doing it. Never figured I'd end up doing any coaching of any sorts, let alone officiating and then coaching, and both, and just having an absolute blast doing it.
Oh yeah, I mean, look, we've been friends for what? Almost about 2.5 years now.
Yeah.
And some of the best conversations that we have is you're talking to me about either coaching baseball, coaching football, whatever. You see the delight, you can hear the delight in your voice when it comes to coaching.
Yeah. And like I said, my 15-year-old self would have been like, whatever. Not a chance. Not a chance. And here I am, 16 to 52? I turned around and told the kids the other day, I was like, yeah. I said, I've been doing this since I was 16. And they're going, well, that's a lot of years. Yeah. I said, but I've had a good time doing it. I said,
yeah,
shoot,
exactly.
I've done it for free. I've done it getting paid. I says, it doesn't matter to me. I just love doing it. I don't care. I don't care. I spent, Sam, yesterday, big example. We have a brand new 7th grader. He has not done anything as far as throwing a ball, catching a ball. He is about 5'11" to almost 6'1", tall 7th grader. Probably spitting image Trevor Lawrence 2.0 easily.
Does he have the hair?
Yes.
Oh no.
But guess what? Didn't know how to catch a ball, nor throw one. I told Coach after we were done with our individual stuff, I said, listen, you guys go ahead and work on, do you still continuing to work with in depth with the wide receivers and bringing in the secondary groupings and working with them and working on plays. I took him aside for about 40 minutes. And even as they went into teams, I stayed with him and we worked on catching the ball for 40 minutes. And I also got him to get a little bit of form and not come across his body, but to throw it and where the release point was and throw me the football back. I said, if I could have 40 minutes every day up until Friday, I said, this kid's going to be good to go. And it's like, guess what? Tomorrow, today was our defensive day. Tomorrow will be another offensive work through day. I will spend if I have to, I will spend another 30 to 40 minutes with him I will get him prepped and ready to catch footballs for Thursday's game.
Nice.
And even towards the end, we had an offensive play, and I had him line up. And coach was wanting a 7th grade tight end spot, and our one kid who's usually in that spot wasn't there. So I told him, I says, put this kid in. And I told him, I even went over the route tree with him. And I was like, listen, it's just a fly route. I says, just once you hit that first line, turn your head back, catch the football.
Yep.
Took a couple plays to work it out, but on the third time, boom, kid caught it. Coach goes, it's as easy as that. Kid's like, okay. And I said, you know what? I said, this kid's going to work out really well. And he's fast. He doesn't know it, but he is fast.
Interesting.
And I turned around, I had him run just a couple of quick 20-yard sprints, and I was like, oh man, this kid gets full speed. I said, boy, he can outrun some people. I said, this kid's going to be something special. And if he can work on his passing as well, even during the off season going into next year, he can come back in next year. And if he's throwing a great football, it's nice to have tall quarterbacks.
Yeah, where's the Arizona Cardinals at?
I'm talking Dante Culpepper height. Yeah, because the rest of the offensive 7th grade line is shorter than this kid. And it's like, hey, guess what? Hey, if he can throw it, he'll be golden. And just teaching him the forms, getting his mechanics. I mean, we get this guy catching and throwing, I think he can be something special. I said, right now, I have no problem with keep working with him as a wide receiver. He could be one of a top-notch wide receiver. Why not?
Yeah, you got a lot more coach experience than I do. I have like 8 months of coaching experience. And all it was helping my cousin when she played softball get her velocity up.
Yeah, but coaching's still coaching. Helping out somebody just a little bit can make a big difference. Thing.
I hated how her coach taught her how to command her pitches, because the one day we went out to catch and she was like, "Can I pitch?" Instead of just throwing around, "Can I pitch?" I'm like, all right, Father God, protect my shins. Okay.
And a few other things.
The glove stayed in a region. Let's just say that. There was nothing getting up there. Trust me, that wasn't happening. But so I told her, I said to her, I said, start just practicing how he has you when you're trying to get your command down. And he has her just doing that typical softball thing where the glove smacks her thigh and she just like flings the ball. I'm like, what the frick is? And she's like, that's how he teaches me control. I said, this is how you learn to throw 48 mile an hour that gets smacked in the left center field. That's how this is going to go. So I said, okay. As soon as I saw that glove came off, I went like this. I went, all right. Let a baseball guy show you how to pitch. Now, granted, I can't teach her overhand throwing. They don't do that.
Right.
It's softball. It's a totally different thing.
Right.
So I taught her something that some people don't teach them. They are told to control the ball with 4 fingers. I got her to control it like a baseball. I got her to control it with just her pointer, middle finger, and her thumb. So she still used because I said the 4 fingers in softball, that's like throwing a changeup. That's easy. But when you throw the same pitch 50 times a game, I'd love to see the analytics behind it. So now she threw harder than 48 miles an hour. She probably threw 55, maybe 56. When I taught her that method, now at first it was hard because she kept like almost releasing the ball with all three fingers. It wasn't sliding off her fingers. And I told her the last finger that should touch the ball is your middle one because it's your longest finger. It took about 3 weeks. Not only did I get my cousin, I got her three things. I got her control down because I used to make her wind her whole arm up and throw to warm up. I didn't have her just slapping her thigh with the glove and flinging it. I had her rotate her whole arm to get her arm loose. I said, this is not loosening your arm. This will loosen your arm. So not only did I get her control down, I got her velocity when she was consistently playing up to 62 miles an hour. Which for softball, that's like throwing 98. Not only that, the following year, she was named the starting pitcher for her team. They used to make her play. They used to have her come in later on and just be like a reliever, but she actually was named a starter because of how hard she threw.
Okay.
So yeah, that's my coaching experience. And I got to see her get ejected from a game once. Look, here's the thing, right? When you play softball and you get called out on strikes and you're a pitcher, you're going to argue calls. So she got thrown out in like the fourth inning, and they actually still won the game. But here's the funny part. They only had 9 players to begin with.
Oh, geez.
They traveled to this game, and they had none of their reserves showed up. They still won down to 8 players.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Her and her sister were on the same team. Her sister was like Jimmy Riley. She played shortstop, and she could run. But yeah, my cousin went from just relieving to she went to being a starter. And she barely got taken out. And the funny thing was, on the days she didn't pitch, she closed.
Nice. Yeah, that's pretty much about how it goes with Bryce once in a while, too. Is coach to sit there and go, yeah, we got so-and-so and so-and-so's pitching. And then it's like, all right, we get down into the nitty-gritty towards the end. It's like, hey, Bryce, let's go. And all of a sudden, Bryce comes in. And it's like, oh, hello, there's a whole different speed right there. They're like, dang.
Well, trust me, like I said, it took the velocity. Her velocity went up within the first week. It took 3 weeks because for the first week I was told, well, I was explicitly told I didn't know what the F I was talking about. Because you know, as a coach with players, frustrations test in. They don't want to freaking, and they think it's not going to work. Yep. Then they listen to you and do what you tell them, and then they say, hey, this actually does work.
Mm-hmm.
It was just her command that was messing with her. And the reason it screwed her up so much is because, like, she just kept missing up because she couldn't get, it's like she just couldn't get a release point to start this off. And I'm like, you're good. Just release it a little earlier than what you're doing. I said, I don't care if you throw 60 and bounce it. I'd rather you bounce one than have one set into left center field. When I got her release point down, she was fine after that.
Anthony, how do you have 3 wide receivers, a tight end, a 2 flex, and then another WR? You meaning 1 defense or 1 kicker and both defensive player position?
What kind of alignment is this?
Kind of weird. What are you talking about? He says, what would be my first 4 position picks?
I got a headache just looking
well,
at
where are you picking at, Anthony? Let's start there. What do you already know where you're picking? Because it's going to depend. It'll depend on the scoring system, but primarily right off the rip, Saquon Barkley, Bijan, Gibbs, Genty, McCaffrey are all tops. Oh, it's one of those. Doesn't know till 30 minutes before.
Well, that's like, I'm not saying. See, I ain't giving no one fancy advice only for one reason, because I got several opponents that may be watching the show, and I'm not giving them my advice.
Yeah.
F that.
Well, and then receiver wise, you're looking at Chase, Justin Jefferson, and as I said earlier, Bowers is pretty much a strong second round guy going. I mean, how many are in the league? That's the next question. Are you in a 10-man, 12-man? It does depend.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, my buddy Mike and he's the 10th out of a 12-man, which is brutal to be in the 10th spot. It's almost like being stuck in like 6 out of 10 and waiting on that long road trip.
Oh, yeah.
There's Zolt with his 2 cents. Yeah, that 2 flex position thing, you get 1 running back and 3 receivers. It's like, Jesus. There are, Zolt will even agree, there are a lot of wide receivers that are in this draft. I mean, shoot, Mims almost didn't even get picked until the last round, and he's W2 for Denver. So there are a lot of wide receivers in this year that you could totally get.
Oh, yeah. This is an extremely deep year for wide receivers in fantasy.
Yeah, and it's like 3 receivers and 2 flex. Woo!
Hey, good luck with that.
Yeah. And people thought my drafts were insane. Yeah.
I don't even want to know what I'm getting myself into next week with you guys.
Well, what I was going to say, that would be the other thing. We need to figure out draft order when we get on. That'll be the first thing we go through. But what are you looking forward to seeing on the kickoff game Thursday night next week as the Cowboys and the Eagles battle it off? What are you looking? What are you looking for next week?
I want to see how. Honestly, I just want to see how. I want to see how Kevin Patullo calls his offense, because this is now the 4th straight year that Jalen Hurts has got a new offensive coordinator. First, it was Shane Steichen. Then it was Brian Johnson. Then it was Kellen Moore, who I think will be back in Philadelphia within the next 2 years because New Orleans is a crapshoot. And now it's Kevin Patullo. Now, Patullo has got a lot more coaching experience than Brian Johnson had when he took the offensive coordinator job. Also, when you play in the Super Bowl, you're kind of SOL in terms of top candidates because you played deep into February. So I'm just interested to see how the Eagles' offense looks because of not having Kellen Moore here. I think it'll still be fine, and I want to see if the defense is still going to be tops in the league. I think it will be because they still have like the key components, right? Like, okay, You need a presence in the middle. Well, go ask Matthew Stafford about Jalen Carter and get back to me.
Yeah, I don't think the defense skipped a beat. I agree with you. The offense, I'm sorry. I think Kellen Moore, it's the right situation, and I don't think New Orleans. I think they're already content with saying, "Yeah, we're rebuilding, and it's going to take us a little while." And let's keep somebody there who's going to bring some consistency, and he knows what the hell he's doing. I mean, he wouldn't have gotten the job if he didn't know what he was doing.
And that's the thing. People are like, "Oh, Kellen Moore is so young." Kellen Moore has been an offensive coordinator in this game for a while.
Well, yep.
All those years in Dallas, in LA, in Philly, he has been around for a while.
Yeah. He's not he's not as spring chicken as what everybody thinks he is.
No.
He really isn't. He really isn't.
Exactly.
So, yeah, it may not be New Orleans this year. It may start to, pop a spark next year. But, I always say you got to give somebody at least 3 years, bring in their guys, get their philosophy installed, and run with it. I mean, do you think Alvin Kamara is actually going to be the running back in New Orleans in 3 years?
No.
No. He's old man River right now. And there's New Orleans will end up next year probably with a very good high draft pick, and they'll end up getting a running back next year.
Yeah.
There's
a couple Penn State ones there looking pretty good.
Yeah, not too shabby.
Hey, one talk about they're like the college football equivalent of Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. Nick Singleton, give Nick Singleton one hole and he's gone. But if you put Fat Boy in there, which is what they call Kaytron Allen for some odd reason, they call him Fat Boy, he will run over your linebacker, your other linebacker, your safety, your corner, your other safety, your other corner, and then he'll score.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he's probably carrying your defensive tackle on his ankle, so.
Well, we don't have any baseball we're really intrigued to talk about. That's one sport that we're just disgruntled.
They're lying in the weed until October.
Yeah, pretty much.
All-Star break's over, trade deadline's over. Teams are kind of just now, we're all battling for seeding. So now it's just, all right, talk to me in October with baseball.
Yeah, and that's when basketball and hockey will start, pestering you, sucking you in.
Well, right now I'm being sucked in by this fly in my room, and it keeps landing on my microphone. So you see me adamantly fighting my microphone. I am okay. I'm just trying to kill this thing.
Outside of that, like I said, my weekend, once Saturday's kind of over, Bryce doesn't have any fall ball baseball this weekend, so I can kick back and relax Sunday and Monday, and
there you go.
Just chill for the weekend.
Nice.
Before getting into one brutal, zany Tuesday, which will be just work-wise insane. Then, we're coming back and starting up our, football week, and trying to cram what we saw and what we did from last week and then try to reapply new things. It's going to be that short week next week could be messing with a lot of people. All I know is Thursday night is going to be game night for me, and it's definitely game night in the NFL too. So I'm glad we're at home. That's for sure. It'll be a short drive home, pick up some dinner, and then, sit in front of the TV for a little bit. I don't know if I'll make it past halftime.
Fair enough.
Yes, we've got the ZFFL draft this weekend. The Zolt Fantasy Football League. That will be on Sunday evening. And you know what? I've got the baker's rack. I have the rum available at my beckoning call. I don't have to go anywhere. Don't have to worry about driving. Could be a good time, good opportunity to break out a little bit,
Well, it's okay. So I have my first fantasy draft on Sunday as well. So, because the one thing, after my experience with the first year of the 609 league, I said, I am no longer commissioning a fantasy football because I am not dealing with that crap. So
it's
Orlando
not easy.
calls. No, it's not. And when I'm
It's
dealing with a
not.
bunch of and not you, but when I was dealing with a bunch of grown ass men acting like children, I'm like, you know what? From now on, if you guys don't like how I ran this, good. You can do it next time. So last year, I joined a random league on ESPN. That's all I did last year because I didn't feel like dealing with anybody. So this year, Orlando called me and said, "Hey, I'm thinking of just getting together just a bullshit 8-team league because I'm just trying to just do a league for fun." I said, "Okay, sure." So he says, "What's a good time to have the draft on Sunday?" I said, 3:30. That's perfect. I said, "No, because most of us are all like Tyler and Orlando are off of work on Sundays, and I get off at 12 since my hours were cut."
Ooh.
Oh, Mitch, don't I look at my schedule this Sunday and I'm back till 2 o'clock at work?
Oh.
I said, "Oh, you're lucky I have an hour and a half. You're
Now,
lucky I still have an
are you
hour and a
guys
half."
going to do it? Are you doing it online or is it just kind of like online live,
No, we're
or is
just
it
doing
gonna,
it. We're
through the
not doing it
computer?
like that. Yeah, we're just doing it through the freaking ESPN fantasy app like we always do.
I was going to say, you saw how it was on the StreamYard, and we just went picking. We didn't do too bad. We were
No.
cruising right on through. We did a really nice job. Zolt's is similar. I think we've got, I think it's 2 minutes or a minute and a half to make a pick. So we don't fart around. We're usually done about, I want to say pretty much about 45 minutes with his. We're done
Yeah.
pretty quick. We are done seriously quick. But yeah, it's definitely, full on draft weekend, and everybody's going to be cramming to get a lot of them done this weekend as well. And, then season starting that next Thursday. And it's like, whoo, buddy.
Got to dust
Everybody's going
off
to be,
some of the old NFL segments for 609 next week.
well, unless you have, unfortunately, unless you have YouTube TV, who has not come to an agreement with Fox yet, and you may not get any football at all. I've already had the little message chat earlier today and told YouTube TV, I said, listen, if the agreement doesn't come by 5 o'clock on Wednesday night, which is what you guys are saying the deadline is, I will have to cancel you off real quickly and flip over to DirecTV Stream, which, by the way, is making one heck of an offer for the same amount that I'm paying for YouTube TV. They are adding the Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus included in the cost.
Yeah.
That's huge. That's huge. That's almost $25 literally extra that would be deducted off because it's included. And it's not like it's a promo where it's only included for a certain amount of time. No, it's included in the entire package full term. There's no extra charges.
Oh,
So as
really?
much as Hulu or Disney, whoever wants to bump up a cost, it's part of my package.
Nice.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to have to really look into that. I'm going to have to look into it because, yeah, I'm interested in saving money. Lots of it.
Yeah, well,
Lots of it.
unless you're prehistoric like me, we still own cable in my house, but that's because of the fact that my cousin can't operate like smart TVs and all, so that's a whole
Well,
other entity in it.
the other thing is they also have a pairing package with my internet company,
Okay.
but I'm already getting a nice deal with my internet company, so I'm okay with that. But if I needed to readjust, I know I totally still could, and I've already got the equipment on site. So I said, yep, the more money I get to save, the better. And especially since I know I'll be kicking the red zone and they are setting it up with almost every college football channel imaginable. DirecTV has hooked up the whole package with all of them. Big Ten Network, SEC, it has all of them listed. And I'm like, oh, Saturdays could be fun. Okay.
So you're saying I'm already in heaven.
Close. Pretty close. And especially dual monitors. Oh.
I get a big old sign, do not disturb.
I just closed the door. Are you kidding? Well, last year on one of the Saturdays, I had ESPN, ESPN2, ESPNU, Fox, or not Fox. No, it wasn't Fox. The Notre Dame game, because it was NBC, and then the Big Ten Network and the SEC Network. And I had them between both monitors, and I had 6 games at one time.
I would never leave my house.
Dude, it was just, I never had to leave the office.
You got to be kidding me.
Nope. It, as they like to say, it was very, very nice. It was very nice.
Unbelievable.
Very nice. I said, man, that is a lot of football. Bryce even came in and he goes, how are you watching all of them? I went, easily. Very, very easily. Now who's pinging? Uh-oh. What's this? Speaking of Saturday's host, this is good. Mike just sent this over. Oh my gosh, this is good.
I'm kind of afraid.
Oh no, this is seriously good. This is seriously good. I like this one. This one's good. You'll like this one.
Okay.
Remember who cheats for the refs, right? Who cheats for the Chiefs? I mean, so it says Travis Kelce's groomsman at his and Taylor Swift's wedding.
Oh my God.
I love it. I love it.
It's okay. Saquon's ring is nicer than hers, so it's okay.
That's good though, Mike. That's really, really good. I like that. That's nice. That's a good one.
You think Patrick's a little jealous that he put a ring on her finger this year and not his?
No.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but it's like, dude, all I got to say is, oh, yes. Way to go, Travis. It's another kid from Cleveland getting a hot chick.
I'm keeping my opinions on this to myself.
The Miz is the first one. Travis is the second one.
I'm keeping my opinions of this to myself. I may get kicked off the internet if I say my opinions about this and it gets to the wrong people.
Oh man, what is going on with the stream? Apparently, I don't have a problem with the internet connection, but somehow StreamYard is not wanting to cooperate nicely here this evening.
What's it doing?
I don't know. It keeps giving me a weird weak signal thing, and it's like it already bounced off of my current broadcast site of Facebook, so I don't know what's going on with it.
It does not want us to the ACES to duel tonight.
Well, there aren't many aces to duel. Zolt's Zolt's on daddy duty, so
Well,
don't believe
that's the week. That's
no,
routine.
he's on extended duty this evening
Oh,
because Mary is under the weather. So that's why he said he may not. Wow, that wheel is spinning again. Something's going on. But yeah, he's on extended father duty, so he may not even make his weekly appearance, unfortunately.
oh, you're telling me I gotta deal with this for the rest of the night by myself?
No, not really. Not really. Not at all. Not at all. I was going to say, because I barely have anything left. After what I had already, that was pretty much about what I got.
Honestly, like we gotta basically wait till next week to get these things kicking off, and then we'll be good to go. But
Right. Yeah. Because it's kind of, that pretty slow week. This is going to be the slow, because everything will be, that we're going to want to tackle is pretty much going to happen through this weekend and getting prepped for next week and the show next week. So with our special draft show. So next week, you got to look for us at 6:30. I know that'll be catching people.
Some people may get booted.
Well, some people may be eating dinner while we're drafting.
There may be some explicit language. We don't know.
Oh, that can fully be expected.
I have not been on a Dueling Aces episode with Adam since the freaking draft preview show, like over a year and a half ago. That was the last time Adam and I were on a freaking Dueling Aces show together.
Oh yeah, we can definitely expect that.
This is like Cena Rock WrestleMania tension. If we can get some WrestleMania promo type like boards for me and Adam next week, that would be great.
Consider it done.
Oh shit.
Oh, alrighty. Well, for those who have tuned in for our brief episode of almost 90 minutes, tune in next week at 6:30. We will probably start right off the rip with the draft order and then await everybody coming in and seeing who's in and who's not for next week. That'll get officially validated here over the next couple of days, and we'll see everybody next week, man. From me and Sam, it's not a 1 of 1, just ironically enough. Could have been. You never know. There could be a 101 on a Sunday this week. You never know.
Well, actually, I do have an idea real quick. Oh. We could actually finally go over the Michigan State schedule.
That takes care of the 4 minutes. Say goodnight, Grayson.
Good night.
Good night. I said say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night.
Good night.
So I said, well, flip a coin, and if it comes out heads, have your hair dyed.
And if it comes out tails, say goodnight, Gracie.